A Prince of Swindlers, by Guy Boothby. Chapter 2. The Den of Iniquity. The night in Calcutta was thick and breathless, the kind that pressed down like a fever. Even the marble halls of Government House could not keep out the clinging reek of the native quarter. Outside, the sentry snapped to attention as a short, stooped Englishman in evening dress departed, bidding the Viceroy an almost affectionate farewell. "You will remember to notify us of your arrival in London," His Excellency had said warmly, clasping the man's thin hand. "You may rely on me, my lord." Simon Carne had replied, the faintest smile playing across his lips. Minutes later he was striding alone across the Maidan, the hum of Calcutta around him like the beat of a restless heart. At a lamp-post, he paused, drew a small leather notebook from his pocket, and wrote a single line before snapping it shut. "Providence," he murmured, "has been exceedingly kind. One careless ride by His Excellency, and the future is mine for the shaping." A ticklery appeared from the darkness as though summoned. Carne climbed in without a word. The driver, clearly expecting him, guided the carriage away from the Chitpore road and into a labyrinth of narrow streets. The night grew thicker. The air ranker. The alleys were choked with humanity. Shadowed figures brushing past, eyes glinting suspiciously at the sight of a sahib in their midst. At last the gharry stopped at a nameless corner. Carne disembarked and, after murmuring instructions to the driver, watched the carriage vanish. He waited on the footway, calmly smoking, as the city swirled around him. The strains of a wedding procession from one house. A woman's angry cry from another. Natives gave him a wide berth. The quarter was no place for a white man at night, and he knew it. A full quarter-hour passed, before a round-shouldered Babu emerged from the gloom, breathless. "You are late," Carne said sharply. "It was impossible to come sooner, Sahib," the man stammered. "Then take me to her, quickly." They slipped into the warren of passages, turning corner after corner until Carne, though well acquainted with Calcutta's slums, could no longer have guessed his bearings. Finally they stopped before a crumbling house in a silent square. A native woman's eyes glittered at them through a grill before the door swung open, and Carne was ushered inside. He stepped into a room glowing with oil lamplight and heavy with perfume. Native tapestries hung from the walls. Rare weapons glimmered between them. But Carne's gaze was fixed on the figure parting the curtain. Trincomalee Liz. She was more magnificent than ever. Her tiny jeweled hands framed against the embroidered curtain as if for dramatic effect. Her beauty was the kind men lost kingdoms for, and many had. "So you have come at last," she said softly, offering both hands. 3 weeks I have waited. You promised me you would come. "I was delayed," Carne replied, taking her hands briefly. "But I am here now. And with business." She smiled, a dangerous curve of the lips. "Always business with you, Simon. But sit. Tell me first where you have been." He obliged her, speaking lightly of his recent movements while she prepared a hookah for him. When he had finished, her eyes narrowed. "And now? What is it you want?" Carne leaned closer. "Money, Liz. Enough to finance the greatest venture of my life." Her laughter tinkled like glass. "You always want money." "Yes, but this time it is different," he said, voice low and deliberate. "I am going to England. London will be crawling with princes and nobles, dripping with jewels. There is wealth there beyond imagining. And he tapped his chest, intend to take it." She arched an eyebrow, intrigued despite herself. Carne pressed on. "To begin with, the Duchess of Wiltshire's necklace, 300 stones, worth £50,000. Yours, Liz, if you back me." Her hands clenched at the sum. 5 lakhs, she whispered. "Exactly. The finest thing of its kind in Europe. And there will be more. Much more. Find me the money I want, and those stones shall be your property." "How much do you want?" "The value of the necklace," he answered. She studied him, weighing his words. £50,000 is a large sum, Simon. Difficult to find. He smiled. "You can find it. You always do. Your merchant friends will oblige. And if they won't, you will know how to persuade them. The interest will be worth their trouble, and yours." "And the security?" she asked coolly. Carne leaned close and whispered something that made her eyes gleam. "It is well," she said at last. "You shall have the money by noon tomorrow. But, Simon." She touched his arm, a rare trace of uncertainty in her voice. "This is dangerous. You could be ruined." "The greater the risk, the greater the reward," he answered with a smile. "And when it is done, London will speak my name for years." She hesitated only a moment longer before nodding. "Very well. But when it is finished, you will come back to me." "Of course," he said smoothly. She did not look convinced, but she let it pass. As he was leaving, Liz plucked a ruby ring from her finger and tossed it to him from the stairs above. "Wear it for luck," she called. Carne slipped it onto his finger and stepped into the starlit square, the echo of her perfume still in his lungs. "The money will be mine," he muttered. "Hiram Singh and Wajib Bakhsh will be found by tomorrow. They are the most expert craftsmen in India, and I shall have need of them. The Viceroy's blessing will open London's doors to me. If I fail now," he smiled to himself, "I won't." A shadow detached itself from a nearby doorway. It was the Babu, waiting. "If the Sahib will permit, I know a quick road to his hotel," the man said. "Lead on," Carne replied. "Tomorrow is a day of great beginnings."